Hello and welcome back to From the Source podcast, episode 28. And today I've started a new content planner, podcast episode type planner. A few of these episodes are slight repeats of episodes that I put out previously, but with a bit more information. So today's episode is about, which all these episodes are quite common to what I'm going through or what I've been going through, and today's episode is about the plateauing. So I've went through that with running and I went through that with fitness. So my fitness in terms of like hierarchy type events or CrossFit and training, stuff like that, plateaued, hence why I went to just purely running, and then now looking to switch to basically half and half with it, because we'll touch on this, but you just get bored of the same thing. I do anyway, and plateaus happen to everyone at different stages all the time, really. So this is for the running and the kind of fitness, your weight, strength, whatever you want to call it, all the plateauing. So I bet, everyone's had these plateaus where you're just really sluggish, there's no motivation, you really just can't be arsed to even go out and run or go and train. You'll make up like every excuse not to, and then you'll end up going and it'll be a crap workout and you wish you never went. That's pretty much kind of plateauing in a nutshell. So your performance type stuff that you'll experience is like your pace. You've not really got anything if you're running to increase your pace. You're meant to be, like, say, running faster, but you just don't have anything in you. It's like zero motivation. All the workouts feel like a lot harder than they ever have done or they ever should do, and you're feeling like no endurance gains from it with anything. I used to do it and you used to feel worse every time you'd go out and train, and obviously a lot of that can be down to energy that you've got, which be that like mental energy or actual physical energy. So there's obviously fatigue. I used to get like irritated by it. I didn't want to not train, so I'd train, and I know I'd annoy myself. I'd still go and train and make it worse for myself. So you're never really winning with it. You're just pissing yourself off if you stay at home or if you go out. A bit restless. I would struggle with this purely with if I didn't train. I'd be restless and have a crap night's sleep, but then it's a double-edged sword in terms of I'd go out and train and then feel even worse, but I know if I stayed in I'd feel bad as well. I could never win with it. But these are all like massive signs of you plateauing. Everything's sore, everything hurts, you've got like loss of motivation. Like I said, you're getting frustrated by your training, or the training itself is just like boring, even though it's not. You're just, in a way, just having a paddy about it. But understand that the plateaus are normal, and that's probably your body's cue to say, let's do some deload weeks. Let's try and vary this up. Go out with your mates, or don't train as hard, but keep yourself ticking over. But plateaus should be seen as a time to tweak stuff, restart the plan with something else, move on to something else for a while, keeping that fitness up, and then say coming back to the strength or coming back to the fitness, whichever one you haven't been doing. That's like the best way to get past the plateau. It's like a wall that you can't really seem to get past, and then once you slowly knock that wall down, metaphorically, you'll get past it, and then you'll carry on, and that plateau, you've gone like this, plateaued, and then you'll go up again, and then obviously you'll hit another wall, and that's just like the journey of life. That's the journey of fitness. So I've touched on it briefly there, but obviously common reasons for it. It's just, for me, running was just routine overload. Where we are, it's either left or right, and the route's pretty much the same unless you've ran at least 5k either side, and then it changes to something else, and then there's loads of options. It's very limited to start, so then that kind of used to like really piss me off. So doing the same routes, the same workouts, it'd be best because it's flat to do 800s going right and long runs going left, but you'd always know where the checkpoints are to turn around or stop and stuff. So there was never anything new, so it used to do my head in. And then obviously if you're doing strength training stuff, like your reps long or that are always the same, like 3 sets of 10, 4 sets of 10, 5 sets of 5, everything's the same, so your body just like adapts. There's no kind of surprise. You see on like TikTok and stuff, like you need to, all those funny videos where you need to like shock the body, tell the body you're going in for chest and then do back. It's stuff like that. You just need to trick your mind into being like, this is okay to do. And obviously if you're getting more efficient with your running, or 100 kilos on a bench press is just like same, you're not really going to be making any gains. You're just going and doing these things for the sake of doing it, really. Nutrition is also one. You're eating the same volume every day, eating the same food all the time. That basically compounds the feeling of the training that you're doing. It's boring to train, but then it's also boring when you get home and you're having to eat, and that's also boring. So like obviously varying your food intake and what you're eating, and get your protein from, say, salmon instead of chicken, or have stir fries instead of just rice. There's loads of different variations, but I feel as humans we just get into the same routine of like breakfast, lunch, dinner, training between, shower, breakfast, lunch, dinner, like all the time. Nutrition plays a big role in it. Rest is also a massive thing that a lot of people don't do, and people think that they have to train all the time to get really super fit, and it's about that intensity. You want to train each time, not, oh, I've trained for 4 hours today. Cool, if you just done like bench for 4 hours, that's not really going to do a lot. People just neglecting that rest, so there's no deload weeks. You're having like poor sleep because you're getting yourself up early, training, going to work, coming back, training. You're getting like minimal sleep, skipping those recovery days. So obviously when you plan where it says like a rest day or just go out for a walk, people just think, oh, zone 2 will be fine. It's absolutely fine. I'll just do 15k instead of 20. It doesn't work like that. Rest, like active rest that I've spoken about, so walks are better than sitting on the sofa. But if you want to sit on the sofa, that's fine. Just don't eat like crap all day. Fill yourself with like good food that's going to benefit you. And then obviously a big cause of this kind of plateauing obviously is just life in general for 99% of us that obviously go to 9 to 5s and have other things going on in our life. So you've got life stress, you've got your work, you're not sleeping, you're not eating, you're definitely not hydrating yourself. All those will influence like your recovery, and then all that will feed into your training, and then you're plateauing on your training, or you're not getting any motivation to train, and it's just like a vicious cycle. So you just need to slowly pick apart the cycle and change a few things and gain that motivation again to carry on. As we all say, life goes on, but a solutions for it, which all these I've pretty much done myself, and you go back round them all the time and change them and think it's going to work the next time, and it doesn't. But running, get new routes, even just get in the car and drive 10 minutes. 10 minutes in the car is a lot further than what you could obviously run, and then do a route from there, try something new, go to a different park run, new terrain, run up some hills, change it up, do some like intervals, do different pacing, run out with your mates. Whatever you're doing now, add or tweak things to what you have done, and then that'll obviously change things, and that does work. It just gets you through that plateau, and then you come out of it absolutely fine. Same with people who are strength training. Change your rep range. So if you're doing 5 sets of 5 all the time, like high weight, change it, do high reps, lightweight. There's different variations. Switch the training to like more high roxy, CrossFit type stuff if you just like bodybuilding, or vice versa. And then maybe add in some like eccentric, concentric type stuff. Switch it up, try different machines. Maybe if you do free weights, do machines. I can't remember what they're called, where they're not like fully machines, they're like assisted. So you can do like bench press on a Smith machine, maybe change it up that way. So there's loads of different ways to do it. So like I said, schedule in that deload week. So really drop that volume like 30-40%. Do a deload week, keep yourself ticking over. Maybe do 2 deload weeks if you can with your plan, if you've not got anything on, and then go back to it. Bit of motivation, bit of recovery, eat well for those 2 weeks, and then get back to it. fueling, obviously eating smarter. I'm under no illusions that people obviously snack on crap. I do the same. Love biscuits, love chocolate, like sweets. We all do it, but it's about eating that at the right times. Don't eat it just before you're going to train, and then getting yourself out there and back to it. It's the best way to do it. Obviously having that like protein at the right times that obviously I've spoke about on other episodes. Different, like I touched on before with the strength training, like different types of training. So do your high rocks. So if you're a runner, maybe try some high rocks. It doesn't have to be like super heavy weights. It's just something different. Go to a different gym for like a one-off class. Try like some different lifting, just like tweaking that, even just the environment half the time. Does wonders, like new people to see, new people to talk to. It's just different. You could do like low impact and just do stuff on the bike or row or ski instead of running. It still boosts and builds your aerobic base, but it's just something different to smashing the tarmac all the time and sitting on a treadmill. Sleeping 7 to 9 hours, which is tough for me at the minute, but trying to make it work and staying consistent with it. Obviously, as I've said on other episodes about the 80-20 rule of life gets in the way and you want to do other things. On your weekdays, sleep well, on your weekends don't. There's just got to be some give and take of it, otherwise you'll just send yourself under. And the aim's to do more, so it's not too different to what you're doing, but allows your body time to adapt to this plateau and what's been going on. And plateauing, I don't want to say it, most of it is in your mind, because obviously some of it is physical wear and tear and you need rest and you need to recover. I get that, but most of it is that like mindset to even acknowledge that it's going on and then changing it. And you probably won't even notice the plateau. You'll just do something different. It's a bit like babies. You can just occupy them by doing something different, and they forget that's what's going on. Like they get their injections or whatever. You can just occupy the brain a different way. Tracking what you're doing to actually acknowledge that there's a change in the trend, or on my Chorus watch there's like graphs and stuff. It says like about like you're currently in a decreasing week, or you're in a maintaining week, or an increasing week, or an overload week, whatever it says. So that basically gives me a little indication that, sort your shit out, you're decreasing, why you're decreasing. There's loads of things you can build into it, but like I said, we're not like athletes, but you can track the progress through that, and maybe that's a little bit of a wake-up call. And look at this throughout like your entire plan, not just over the last 4 days I've really dropped off. That's fine. If you're dropping off every 4 days every week for 12 weeks, then that's a bigger problem in itself. But if you're looking at a 12-week cycle, are you only dropping off like 4 days out of the 48 that you're doing it for? Like, where is the drop off and how often is it happening? And are you actually quite consistent? Every 5 days you drop off for 2 days and come back. That's not too bad. It's just if you've been at the same level for the whole 12 weeks and you don't really have any motivation to kick on, you don't have any motivation to even like deload. Those are the things that you need to be looking out for. And like I said, all of it's like mindset and the mental, having a bit of a mental refresh and doing something different and changing your environment or changing your scenery, like, may just be the thing that just like kicks it on. And training with different people is massive. Like just going to a gym class with different people, or just a normal class that you can just feel like you can just forget someone else has planned the workout, like someone else has got all the gear out. You've seen other people. There's just loads of different things that can like refresh your brain and kick you on, and then be like, I'm good to go tomorrow or next week, I'm back to it. But these plateaus, they don't last forever unless you don't do anything about them. But most of the time people do something about them. They either completely drop off and stop altogether, which is obviously the wrong way to go, or they just break through the barrier and kick on. But every person has them. The elites will have them, us as the beginners and intermediates will have them. Once the plateau hits, you feel like all your things you built up and all the consistency and stuff that you've had just goes out the window, but it doesn't. It's just like a little bit of a crap patch you go through. You'll get through it, and it's just like patience and acknowledging it and willing to either deload or change the scenery and all the other things I've spoken about, but just tweaking that plan slightly and stepping back and doing something different might just be the one that kicks you on, instead of knowing it's there but not really acknowledging it and letting it be the thing that contributes to the downfall and all that hard work you've put in. You just think, oh, bollocks to it. Join a run club, get yourself out there, even buy like new clothes or something, just anything that's going to kick you on, and make sure you stick at it, because this isn't just like for training in terms of plateauing. This could be like for me in terms of the podcast or just life in general, or your job, or like the car you like. I don't know, there's anything, everything is like a plateau, and it's just how we acknowledge it, tweak things and carry on. So if anyone's had any experience of any plateaus in the training or just life and stuff, like, please let me know and comment. I'd be interested to see what other people's plateaus are like and how they felt about it. Like I said, they don't last forever, a bit like this podcast episode. But yeah, anyone's got any questions, let me know. Please share, comment, and I'll see you on the next one.